What's going on there, fellow YouTubers? It's Chris from the Mars Anomalies channel, guys. I've been away for a couple weeks. My apologies. Just been busy doing the old work thing, just hustling, Okay, so one of my earlier videos, I had the Sea of Serenity with Posidonius Crater, right off the edge of it. And it was the radar image of the moon. And if you guys remember that, where they had shot radio waves at the moon and then bounced back, of course, to the Green Banks radio telescope here in West Virginia, and they transmitted from the Arecibo telescope. And if you notice, I showed where it had it was blurred out, and then when they showed the radar image, there was actually it looks like a city as opposed to just simple lunar, just a lunar surface. So today I'm going to do the Posidonius Crater. And I've got a photo from the LROC, which is a Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter camera, but it's actually orbiter. But I'm going to show you a photo of that because I think, unfortunately, I don't have the original. For some reason, I cannot find this photo again. I might have taken a quick screenshot of a particular larger photo, and I just had this one in here on my external hard drive. So my apologies for that. But I'll tell you why it doesn't matter. Because first off, we know they're manipulating these photos. We know that. Secondly, we know, well, anybody who's looked at any particular part of the moon through Google just to check different photos, they're always different. Somehow there's always different details. Here's a perfect example. Let me show you this. Here's a good example. This is from the LROC, and you can see it up here. And I want to show you something I thought was just really funny. How does anybody look at this photo and say, hey, that looks normal? Look at this. It looks cartoonish. It does not look like something that's natural. And of course, somebody's mocked this here. I don't know if that was them or not. I don't recall of whether it was something that NASA did, JPL, or it really doesn't matter who it is that did it. But what's funny about it is how does anybody look at that and just go, oh yeah, that looks really 100% normal. It looks to me like it's... Check it out. I'll just back out a little bit. Look at this. It looks cartoonish. It looks drawn in. All of this here, this crud here, which is supposed to be the outer edge of this crater, is a bunch of crap. And here's another example. Like you can see these right here. They look like, if you remember the Saturn's moon Dione photo I did, it looks like they call them chasms. And of course that means crevices, any of that, or gouge in the ground. Kind of like a... any crevice we'd have here, like the Grand Canyon, which is very huge, but you get the idea. But they're not always as they seem. And I'm going to show you because I can show you this crater here and go look at a couple of the photos. They look nothing like that. So wait a minute. And I understand resolution thing. I understand all that. What I'm saying is there shouldn't be that much of a difference in photos to say, wow. I mean, you can understand maybe missing a couple details or in the photo because of due to... the quality of the photo. That makes sense. But when it's completely changed around, it makes no sense. Now, the area I'm going to concentrate on is not only this crater, but this area right in here, which has much more detail. Okay. The other thing I want to let you guys know, there is good news on the horizon. A lot of people have watched my videos and said, hey, you know what, Chris? Sometimes I get discouraged because we'll never see disclosure. Well, I don't know if you guys follow along on the Facebook pages. There is many, there's what they call UFA, United Family of Anomaly Hunters. Will has his What's Up in the Sky on Facebook, so on and so forth. I'm going to show you these right now. You've got right here, you've got these different ones. And you guys can just, here's the actual names of them. So you can look at them right on Facebook and just, you can pause this, look at it. But this is Mars Discoveries and Solar System Anomalies. You've got What's Up in the Sky. We all know Will has that. You've got the Mars Moon Space Photo Zoom Club. Mars and Planetary Anomalies in Europe. You've got exclusive Mars images. You've got Mars or Us. In fact, this is a new page. I think this is... I'm not going to... I'm trying to remember exactly who's the one who just put this. But she's also a friend of mine on Facebook as well. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. The idea is that these groups are there, and they're sharing all kinds of information. People are doing some serious enhancements on these photos, and they're finding all kinds of crazy things, whether it be, they just did one not too long ago. It looked like a kind of a wall, kind of a box, kind of a weird thing on Mars. Now, if you look at these, each and every one of these, now you got UFA. Now, UFA is the one that, again, you can see it's the United Family of Anomaly Hunters. Every one of these is part of that. Well, my bad. Let me not do that. Every one of these is part of this. You've got Coach Billy Carson did this in here, Mars Discoveries and Solar Systems Anomalies. You've got Will, so on and so forth. So, again, the cool thing about it, if you go to the UFA page, and you can just look it up, it's UFAH. They actually have, and again, this is going back to people, with that comment saying, we're never going to see disclosure. They've also now got Jose Escamilla taking notice. In fact, he just made a movie, and he actually used their enhanced photos in his movie. So it is coming about, guys. It really is. I'm hoping to get on this, too. I'm actually part of these pages. In fact, I'm an actually admin of a couple of these pages. So, I go in there, I put photos, I comment, so on and so forth. And it's like I'll bounce to all of these. So if you guys are looking for more anomalies, you guys are just, the videos are just not cutting it and so on and so forth, or you just want to see more of it, which I am. I like this. I'm down for any of this stuff. Some people who have been making videos, they just stopped. Why? Because maybe it's just too much time, but they'll enhance a photo and still throw it on one of these pages. And one of them, if you guys are familiar with, is Amazon KC. You haven't seen much of her videos. People have asked me even, hey, what happened to her? Check her out. She goes by Kirsty Cole on these pages. In fact, she's just on there recently, and she just put a couple things on there. So she's doing good work on hers. Everybody on here who's doing these, you can check these people out. And it just names a few of them here. You got Neville Thompson. He's the one that does a lot of these gigapans. Check him out. You got Brett Collin, Shepard. You can see it right here, Lars. Thomas Mickey Schroeder Jensen. He's the one that does a lot of these these actual Skype sessions, but he records them, and then what they'll do is like 1 or 2 a week. I'm not sure exactly how many. I guess it depends on who's available at the time. But what they'll do is they'll take each person's favorite photo and they'll analyze it. And they'll just all put in their input, each of them at a time, put in their input. You got Gary McKinnon. You guys should be familiar with him. He's the one that's supposed to have hacked into NASA's database, so to speak. Coach Billy Carson, Will Ferrar, and it shows, Brian Hopkins. All of these guys are all named here. Martine Graney, she does a lot of good work as far as enhancements, and you can see what looks like humanoid figures. She's, pretty good at that. So, check these guys out. Really good work here they've been doing. Any one of these, you can just pause this and just look at the list here. Just type these in, these particular, again, Mars Discoveries and Solar System Anomalies. That's the end of this one. And you've got all the rest of them actually got all of their names in these. Again, this page is relatively new. Mars or Us. But everybody's been jumping on board with that one. Just check them out, guys. I think you'll like it. Like I said, I'm hoping to get in on that. They've asked me. They said they'd like to have me on there. I guess it's just a timing thing because they've been doing photos. And like I said, they just recently had Jose Escamilla on there. And again, he's looking to do more on... What the cool thing is, he's going to be getting like 1.8 million photos untouched, supposedly, by NASA. And he's going to start going through these things, and I'm hoping a lot of these guys are going to start ripping these photos apart because there's a lot of photos to do. So we're hoping to be on board with this. It is coming about, guys. More pressure is being put on to get disclosure. So, so I just figured I'd add that and check that out yourselves. Okay, let's jump into this photo because, like I said, this is what we're covering. And this is Posidonius Crater, or Posidonius, not Pass. It's P-O-S. But let's jump into this because I thought this is really unique. Again, you can look at this one. Here's a perfect example. I'm just going to zoom in just a hair bit. Check this out right here. Why does this inner crater, supposedly inner crater, look so different from this one? Well, you might say, well, Chris, this has better resolution. It does, but it doesn't. This has been tampered with. This is not... The reason why they look so good is because they've been tampered with. People go, well, that makes no sense. Well, it does, because they can smooth it, do anything they want to it. And you can see there is definitely a stitch here, too. You can see right here, this has all been... It's a lighter box here, if you will. So it's been, but you guys get the idea. You look at any one of these, and suddenly they're all different. It just makes no sense. But, again, here's these lines I was talking about right in here. Okay? And the funny thing about it is they look like, supposedly look like crevices in the other photo, but you can see that they're not. They're off the ground. In fact, this one here is literally going over this other little wannabe crater. But not only that, if you look at these particular lines, you can see they have a shadow right here. They actually have a shadow on the right-hand side of them on different spots. Why would they be bigger shadows? Because there's probably a valley underneath these areas. And this is the reason why you're seeing more of a shadow in some places and some places not. Another thing, which I think is insane. Check these out. Now, it's not so much what you're seeing in here, but there's one, two. All of these things are some kind of a weird structure. But again, these have been manipulated. And I'm going to show you that right now. What you can clearly see, too, and I don't know if you noticed this, but the ground itself, the way these things are set up, it is clearly not naturally made. Now, watch this. Here. Now, I believe this is a stitch here, so you can't go by that. But check this out. Goes up, goes around. Looks like it does this and then back down. Now, it looks like just two little radiuses right here, like a kind of a half circle, quarter circle, if you will. It's not. When you go back into it, you can see that they continue on. Okay? They literally continue on and go down. Now, I'm going to show you that right here. See the line? It actually goes like this and actually goes down. And you can see this one here goes down here, goes over to here. Now, you're going to see a lot more of this a little bit better in a minute. Check this out. You can see right here, goes around, goes over to here. This stuff is all, again, layered, like layers of ground, cliffs, call them what you will, and they're off the ground. Again, you can see here, there's stuff underneath it. This one here, something's inside this area. And you've got this weird area closure kind of thing. And all of these here, again, higher ground here, these are all lower. And it goes down like a kind of a step pattern, if you will, like here, higher. Higher, this is a little bit lower, a little bit more lower, a little lower. So on and so forth. It keeps going lower, lower. The funny thing about it is, when you look at this one here, like I said, this bottom piece, we can go like this, go around. Okay. There's a shadow to it. Look at the shadow. It kind of contours. Of course, this is, again, this also has a stitch in it because it's a different photo, and you can see that when I back out. It's stitched. So they take pretty much all of this that was going like this. It would actually literally go like this, and so on. The shadow would follow along. But you can see that. It's literally contouring and doing the same thing that the upper piece is doing. See it? So, okay, let's take a better look at it from a different angle and then check it out. Okay. Now, you can see by looking at these things are not in the ground. They are literally have a shadow under them. All under here. But they are above the ground. Okay. Now, let's look at these layers again. And you can see now, you can see this ground. And this, now you can see this pretty clearly. You see this way, this run right here? This is all black crap that's been added to this. But you can see under here, there's something there. Something that's actually pretty smooth right here. You can see this area right in here. That's actually pretty smooth. So, okay. It goes like this. Up, goes around, goes like this, goes back down. And you can see something that looks like a structure standing here. Here's that rounded area. Goes like this and goes down. Another round one right here. Goes like this and goes down and then disappears. But you can see different areas. You got to look past the light and dark areas. You got to pay attention to more of the lines more than the actual, because that's what fools you. You might see something like, again, right here. Here's a perfect example again. Overhang, so to speak. It looks like it kind of goes like this, but it also comes down like this, and then something shoots off to this one and goes back over to here. You can see what looks like all little structures underneath this whole area inside here, inside the shade. It shouldn't do that. I mean, it's not natural. But you can see all these things just coming off, and they're underneath. There's something that does this here. And there's a bunch of, whatever these things are, I'm going to show you this right here. There's something right in here, and I'm going to show you that because there's one almost identical to this in another photo I've seen, an Apollo 16 photo as well. This one here was from the Clementine, which is an early photo. So now, also here, I don't know if you guys noticed this. Check this out. Let's go back to the original. Okay. On this side, check this out. What does this? And it looks like there's a shadow all underneath this. It. Now I'm going to widen it up. And I'm going to bring it over to that. And there you go. And it looks like, it's hard to explain, but it looks like there's like something right there. Line. Two things sitting right here. Goes over to the next one. Something right there. Goes over to the next one. But this looks like a shadow underneath all of this. And you can see either it's a structure of some sort doing this, and that's what's fooling the eyes, or there's something right here, and you can see it's above, going like that. So you've got to really look at these photos and get an idea just what the hell's going on here. But you can see little other pieces in here. You can see things just on the side of each other. You know, I mean, look at just very faintly, you can see these things just sitting on the ground. They're all over the place. Now, I'm going to enhance this a little bit better. I'm going to go over to my other picture, and I'm going to show you some crazy stuff in here that just, like, you just go, oh, come on. This clearly is not natural. So let's jump into that. Okay. Now, again, I see this stuff right here, and I go, how do they pass this off as any kind of, crevice or anything? Look at it. It just keeps going. To me, these are some kind of transportation, call them what you will. You know, you go, well, how can that be, like, let's say it's some kind of, travel tube or something like that. They travel in like a vertical or horizontal elevator, I should say. These things branch off. You can clearly see this thing doing this. Let me go ahead and do this here. Let me go ahead and put some color into this bad boy so you can see it a little bit better. Okay. You can see it going up. Like this. One branches off, keeps going over the hair. You got this one here going up and over these here. These are not on the ground. You can clearly see they're not. And you can almost see like what looks like a shadow underneath this one. It looks like it goes down into a valley kind of thing. Look at this. All going along there, you can see a shadow. All under here. Just a little bit. And then, of course, it kind of disappeared. But you can still see the shadow a little bit under here. 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 Come on. So it tells me it's above the ground. I don't know what it is that it's over the ground like that, but you can only imagine if it's a actual structure. If they're actual structures and they're above ground, and there are other structures here, pretty much tell you maybe some kind of transportation road tube. We'll call it what you will, but this is what's insane. Check this thing out now. Some features started to pop, and I started to enhance this. Now, whether they're 100% enhanced, meaning because everybody knows you can fool with light, contrast, all this other crap, and you can get different changes out of it. But because there's that kind of detailing, and it looks more dome as it does convexed, you clearly can tell there's something's not right here, compared to the other photo. Here's this other piece I was telling you about. So that's pretty cool. All right, let me go back over to here. Now, here's that piece again. And again, you got to follow the lines. You got this dark area, and you think that's where it ends. And it isn't. That's the problem. Let's go back to color. You can see right here, it looks like it ends right there. And at the beginning, and to be honest with you, I thought it did too, because you can see like this darkness. Well, the problem is, there's either something there that's transparent in front of it, or guess what? It's a manipulation to hide the actual lines. Because you can see it actually continues on to here. It looks like there's something doing this. So they don't look at all like naturally made stuff. And like I said, you got these things all lined up. And let me just do this again. Okay. Here. There's double pieces everywhere under here. Now, again, you can see these what look like pieces doing this. And these are not going to be clear, guys. I mean, it's just common sense. Check this out. You've got this weird shape, multi-structures or whatever these are, making this weird looking, almost like a V-type shape. But I believe there's many things in between here. And if you look, there's actually things under it. It's not, look at this, something faintly going like this into this area and over to here. Come on. I want to know what does that in nature, even if it isn't some kind of a structure. It doesn't matter. It simply doesn't, because I want to know what does that in nature, and it does it for a long distance, because these are clearly above the ground. So, okay. Here it is that it almost looks like this weird bridge again, and you've got the shadow underneath it. And it looks like it stops and goes over to some kind of other structure, because there's something dark right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. But right here, but this thing goes into here faintly and then comes back out the other side. There's something overhanging this area right here, and it's got a shadow to it underneath it. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. Here's the other one. And like I said, every, look at this. Looks like it's right there. Looks like very faintly it's going off to this one. Here, it looks like there's two brighter spots. I don't know if this is one big structure, because it looks like kind of this weird, or it looked like a bridge type thing. I don't know. But you can see something going down like this very, very faintly. But whatever this thing is, it has a shadow or some kind of, or it's not a shadow at all. Maybe it's just a wall around it. But see that? It actually has something standing on the ground. Whatever that is, I don't know. Okay, let's break into the color one and see if we can filter it and see if we can bring anything else out. But this is what I've got here, and you can see what looks like a whole bunch of things laying on the bottom underneath, like it goes deeper into the ground. It's not just a complete flat ground. It literally has a valley of some sort underneath right here, and this is running far above it and going along. Now, you guys can look at these photos yourself, because I'm going to try to put these up on Google Plus as well, and just have a look at these little, like I said, all these things, but look at the ground more than anything. You can clearly see that this is not, I mean, we have cliffs here on the planet Earth, of course. That's not out of the ordinary. But what's out of the ordinary is the way these things appear to have, like they are intelligently made. It just doesn't look like something that would be natural. And you can see a bunch of this laying all over the place. Check this thing out. There's something on top of here. You've got this right here, and I outlined this earlier. And because we cannot see this detail too well, it is really vague. And let me just back up just a hair bit here. And we'll go to something, we'll just brighten it up just a little bit. But check this thing out. This thing, to me, you see there's a bunch of things. If you look, there's higher things, and the sun hits it. There's also things way down in here. All these darker areas, I believe, are valleys or lower areas of this whole area. This is like stuff sticking out of this lower ground. Kind of like if you had like cities here on Earth where they have like in between mountains there in valleys, and you've got a bunch of structures in it. Well, that's what it appears to me, and it's what it looks like. There's more depth to this area than actually meets the eye. This I don't believe is a crater at all. I think this is another structure, and it's in the middle of this area. Now, some people will argue, well, you know what, Chris? I've seen high quality photos of this. First of all, if all of the rest of the photos lately, and even the older ones, some of them had really good quality to them. They weren't garbage photos. They were actually pretty good. And yet they weren't completely smooth. Some of these things are okay, kind of looking quality. And then some of the areas, okay. And then you look inside these so-called craters, and they're completely smooth. That area particularly is high def. Wait a minute. How does that work? It's like high quality. It's like, but the rest of it's kind of mediocre. It doesn't make any sense. Here's that area I was telling you guys about too. Right in here, where looks like it has something. There's multiple things here. You can see them right here, like kind of lit up, but they're kind of brighter areas, if you will. 1, 2, 3. You're not going to see anything of all of these nice, complete details, but you can see things like this. Look at this. things running off from one to another, going over to here. It's just the way they're set up. It doesn't look like just randomness. It just looks like there's something more to it than that. Let me go to these other ones because I've actually had photos that I had done, and I've saved these purposely so you guys can have a look too. Here's a piece. Now I want to show you that too before I go on real quick. That was from, let me see if it's this one here. Okay, check this out. This is the way this photo came. This was Apollo 16 screenshot. Now, you can see their crosshairs and stuff like that. But Joe from Art Alien had just done this, and he talked about this artifact, what looks like a tower, miles-high tower standing out of the ground. Now, I've done this photo as well. He also pointed at this here. Now, you can check his video. He did a really good job on this. In fact, I'll find the video, and I'll do the link. I'll throw the link in the description for you guys. Check him out. He did a really good job of this thing and found some other cool little details and artifacts in here. But this is what I found in here. I'm saying to myself, well, wait a minute, let's enhance this. Because, again, look at this. No 3D to it. Some of it, yes, but whole lot, no. And when I did this, when I really got into this picture, I'm saying, whoa, what the hell? Check this out. This is the thing I was just talking about. It almost has the same appearance as this piece here. Now I can go back to here and show you this one here. And it has this other, let me do it this way. Let me go back to this one here so you see it a lot better because it's more enhanced. It has that weird wing-looking structure thing right here, but it's facing that way. In other words, it's kind of like almost like a boomerang shape. So I'm saying, okay, check this out. Almost has the same shape to it. And like I said, to me, this ground is far too, it just looks more intelligently made as opposed to just a natural process. And here's the filtered pictures. And you can see that there, like I was just showing you. Let's go to the next one. And again, you've got that weird thing. But again, this is deep, guys. All of these dark areas are actually deeper into the ground. It goes to a lower elevation, if you will. And you can see these here are clearly off the ground. They're not gouges. They're not, chasms. They're not, I mean, look at this stuff. I mean, right here. Look, this is the area that really stuck out for me because what does this weird radius? And you can see that. Look at this. Here. And the line keeps going. See how it gets dark? You think it's just here and then right here. It's not. It literally goes around. And then the bottom one, look at the way this thing is shaped. It's too perfect. There's no way in hell that this is just a normal, natural, occurrence. There's just far too many things in there showing it's not. Again, this one up in the upper left has that weird boomerang looking thing. And then I smooth it out a little bit, and you can just see these things. Look at the upper left item again. Looks like it has a black dome on this weird boomerang-shaped looking thing. But there's many objects in here that are clearly not. You can see what looks like there might be all structures in this shadowed area underneath this cliff. I'm going to call them cliffs for argument's sake because it looks like layered, like almost stepped ground, if you will. Look at it. Like there's multiple layers down to the bottom. And it has many more things in here. I mean, look at this. Like they try to blur this out. There's something sticking out right here on the right, and it has a shadow to it underneath. What the? I mean, yeah. And you can see where I try to enhance these more, and what happens is because it's already colored, it's got filters on it, it automatically makes that bluer area or darker area more bluer, if you will. So right here, all in this whole area, look at this. That is just crazy to me. I mean, I'll let you guys have these pictures. You guys can have at it and take a look at it. It's just crazy. All right, the other thing that I want to mention to you guys too is I'm going to try to have another Google Plus Hangout with a few of these guys, and we can because I've got some crazy information for you guys. I got Space Cadet. You guys know him as Peter. He's usually on my Hangouts as well. He knows a lot about photos and lithographics, so on and so forth, and the processing of pictures. I've got some crazy information that even eluded me, but what I've been saying all along, what Will has been saying all along about these photos and so on and so forth, they're absolutely true. And when you understand the way these photos are done, you just go, boom, mind blown, because you just go, okay, now I can understand how these photos are being manipulated. And it will totally blow your mind. What you think you know, you don't. Now, a lot of these people have done some investigations on these photos, or, you know, the way they're, what looks like they're, how they're manipulated, and well, after it's enhanced, it's even more, you know, the manipulations that they've done, it really pops out. You can really see that. So stay tuned for that. This one here is going to be really awesome, and it's going to help people really better understand what NASA's actually doing to these photos and how easy it is to do it. So stay tuned for that, because I know I got some people, one guy was on there saying, hey, well, you know, I was a photographer for 40 years. You're full of crap, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. It doesn't matter how long you've been a photographer, and good for you if you are. I want people like you to jump into these photos more, because after you see this photo, this video I'm going to do, or this hangout I'm going to do with a couple of these guys, if I can get more than one on, you're going to see that you were wrong. Because a normal Earth photo, he'd be absolutely right, and I would agree with him. These are not normal by any stretch of the means. Because the average photo here taken on Earth is not, you know, it hasn't been molested. And most people say, oh, I got a picture of my backyard. And it's the true thing. So you're going to see this. I'm going to break this thing down big time in this video coming up. And like I said, I'm going to try to get a hangout. I'm hoping that they can get me on the other Anomalies, Mars Anomalies Facebook pages. Hoping I can get on there as well. More information out, the better we are, period. So things are starting to look up, guys. I mean, you got to, you know, for all the people getting discouraged, and that, you know, you got to be, hey, everybody gets that way for some, you know, at some point, saying, hey, you know, I don't think I'll ever be exposed and never. But the more people get in on it, like Jose Escamilla, oh my God, it just, boom. You make a movie, this stuff, it starts getting more and more exposure. There you go. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I didn't want to make this too long, but I did want to get back in there, show you guys what's up, what I've been up to as well. So we're going to be rocking and rolling on these things a little bit more. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Always appreciated. Share the video. Give me a thumbs up. Always appreciated. I do these things for you guys. I've always said this. So I love each and every one of you, because here's the thing. It's all about getting your views, getting what you think these objects are, and having you guys pull these things apart. If it's something different than what I'm saying, cool. I don't have a problem with that. Some people see things differently, and that's okay. That's what it's all about. It's not to force what I see down your throat. I say, hey, guys, I think this is what this is, and so on and so forth. And then you guys make your own decisions. Yay, yes, Chris, I agree with you. Or no, I'm seeing things a little differently. I think it's this. That's what it's all about. So, and this is the reason why I continue to make these videos. So anyway, guys, not going to waste any more of your time. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next either hangout or photo.